Pick up another you call in the parking lot to sign. Are you with me? When I stand with the roof gone, I pull up like Jimmy Neutron. Hoping you could get a move on. Like you haul, and I know we need to go slow, but we could go faster. Maybe the best.
Hello, welcome in. Okay, hold on, let me put my welcome up because we got to talk about. Gotta make this quick because I got other stuff to do. Welcome in, you guys. All right, we got to talk about this reunion, child. This is one for the books, honey. Real Housewives of Potomac open up with Wendy. Wendy getting arrested. It opened us up until on the day of October 16th. She got arrested, I believe, October 11th. It opens up with Wendy and Eddie, and she gonna sit down and talk. And Wendy was like, she feel like she's in a constant nightmare. She feel like the house doesn't feel the same, and she has to eat, and she's not hungry at all. And she has no desire to eat, no nothing at all. She's telling Eddie like she don't know. She don't know it's been a week. And Eddie was like, yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week. Everything feels so, just like that day, it just doesn't feel real. She was like, it felt like it was a prank. Wendy didn't know in all her dreams that it would lead to her getting taken away in handcuffs. And she says, it's so crazy and it feel like a bad dream. And she just sitting there and just hurt. Like, and then, Eddie said he seen her in a holding cell and he saw her talking to her sister. And Wendy was saying, baby, and he was like, he said he heard the kids on the phone, in the room. And she said that the baby, the daughter, hey, and she said she didn't know what was going on, and she's screaming, mommy. And she said, you're going to spend the night with auntie. And she said, okay, mommy, I'll see you tomorrow. So she started breaking down. And she was like, she didn't know she was going to see her daughter because she was so scared. From what she said, she was worried about the kids because the two oldest ones are in school. And she said she's scared for them because they was in school. She said she was taking her nap for the day. And she said she woke up to the police. And, the police was coming through arresting them. And then she asked Eddie, do she think it's going to affect their marriage? And Eddie said it's going to impact them. And she said, she's not the same person since that happened. And she hoped that Wendy will be okay with him because she's not the same after this. She don't think she'll ever be the same. And Eddie said God's got us and we made it this far. And he said it's been 15 years and he's gonna be they're gonna be okay. And so we go to the reunion. Everybody, everybody was getting dressed. They see Karen name on the door. They're like, oh my God, Karen is here. They all having conversation. So everybody meet up, say hey to Andy, and they sit down. And Andy asks Wendy, you're facing 16 counts for alleged fraud. And he asks, what can you let us know or tell us about the case? Wendy said that she said investigation is still going, and she could say that they have court appearances, and she said that it's a trying time for her family. Andy asked her how were the kids handling it, and she said it varies because Cam, she's not aware of everything that's going on, and then she has Carter who is aware and he's paying attention, and then Andy said he was, and then she said she was trying to shield him from the situation. And when it happened, she called her mom and her sister to the house to come get the kids because the kids weren't home to go pick up the kids from school. They didn't see anything. She said she was taking a nap. She wake up to Eddie saying, baby, the police is here. And she called her mom and her sister. and they were able to pick up the kids. And Carter knew something was up because they randomly spending the night with their mom, and her mom and her sister, and Carter say something is going on, and he opened his phone and he seen her mugshot. He saw everything. He seen the mugshot and everything. And she said what hurt her was that he saw it and he didn't tell her mom and her sister that he saw it. So he went to sleep with it. And Annie and her picked him up from school and they pretend like everything was fine. And he was in the back of the car and she was like, "What's wrong?" And Carter said, "Where were you?" And she just looked at his eyes and she could tell, because she said she promised she'll always be honest with her kids. She told him, he started crying and she held them and they cried together in the backseat of the car and hugging each other because, you know, because of what happened. He knows. Carter's the oldest. Carter sees this. So, now that she's saying that when they go to court, her and Eddie made a pact to say, we're going to tell the kids when we're going to court. So they can know, so they won't be surprised if something is posted. He knows what's coming and what's going to happen because she don't want him to be blindsided. So Andy agreed with her. So Giselle so Giselle asked her about the mugshot video. She said the mugshot photo. She said, so the nap was the reason why your wig was a little to the side or whatever and twisted. And Wendy and Giselle said the wig was wigging. And she said it wasn't her nap wig, that's her professor wig. And she had her professor wig on, and she said that wasn't the professor wig, they got to be the nap wig. So Andy said, hey, how did you get to wear your wig taking a picture? Because usually they make you take it off. And the guy that was taking her picture, he was nice. He let her have on her wig and told her to give her told her to give her another look, give another look because she was crying and sad. I think because they knew who Wendy was. Another thing is Wendy isn't just known for this show, and I know a lot of people are like, well, wow, because Karen had on hers. Wendy is known for being a commentator on political things, and I was kind of shocked to see that because I'm like, oh my God, like, girl, them folks that love to judge every time you speak on something and tell them something in their face over there on that other side is never gonna let this go. They gonna break it up every time because they feel like that's all they could use as a weapon every time you commentate, girl. Like, so she was saying, and he was trying to cheer her up because she was crying. And Andy asked her, did she regret that of her smiling in the mug shot? She said she don't regret smiling because at the end of the day, they go through things, try to smile through the pain, no matter how heavy it is. And, Giselle asked did you pop a happy Eddie? And she said no. And then she said Eddie was a little, Eddie was cheesy. Everybody thought she had a happy Eddie. And, Wendy said he was far going, but he didn't pop a happy Eddie, but he was just, he was actually sleeping his little cell, and they tapped him and told him to take his picture, and he just looked a little off in the picture. And then Stacy asked if she spent the night, and she said that she spent a full night. And Stacy said, oh my God, he spent the full night? And she said, yeah. Baby, you know how long bond takes to book out somebody? It's going to be the next day. Yeah, she was in a hotel cell for 24 hours. She had to spend a full night. It's a bonding process. They had to go to court for bond. That's the next day, and they bonded out. Yeah, she had to spend a whole night in jail. And Stacy asked what was it like, and she said it was scary. Wendy said she was scary. She had to stay a night. And Giselle asked her, was people in her jail? And she said, yeah. And she had to, be around and sleep with other people, take a nap or fall asleep with other people in the holding cell. She was in a holding cell with other people. And it was like, oh my God, you had to be in there? Oh my, yeah. Like, I mean, that's what happens. Yes. Yes. Wendy had, yes. until her court date. Yes, they do it different up there. Like Virginia, Maryland, Washington, they do it a little differently. Here and everywhere else, you can bond out, or you gotta wait till you go to your first hearing, which is normal, right? And you still get to bond out. But yeah, they bonded out. And she said for a little bit, she said she didn't know that they could control the lights. She said you completely lose your autonomy because you wake up when they tell you to wake up because the lights gone, and you go to sleep when they tell you to because the lights off. And they asked her where did she use the bathroom, and Wendy said she held that she didn't use the bathroom. And Karen and Andy brought up how Karen said she used sanitary napkins for the toilet. You know, sanitary things for the toilet to use it. And Giselle says she remembered she was talking about, talking to Wendy. She said, I remember talking to you, and you said when Karen went, you said that you can't believe that she woke up in jail and what she's going through. And she's saying that Wendy went through it, and she's talking about it like it's jovial, like it's a day at the park with the tulips. And she asked, was she okay? Wendy say no, she's not okay, and that she was not okay, but she's going to be okay. Giselle would ask her, was she terrified? And she said she's absolutely terrified, but her faith is what's carrying her through this situation. And Ashley say her number one fear in life is going to jail, and she say it's literally the terrifying thing. And then Wendy looked at Giselle like, what you mean? You what? Because after what you said about me, you terrified? Girl, like, she was shocked. And Stacy looking at her like, okay, where you going? Like, everybody looking at her like, girl, nobody forgot what you said about Wendy. Like, how you gonna sit here, everybody face talking about, I'm terrified. And Ashley saying, that's one thing she's terrified of, and being in a group with other women has showed her that. And that it's not okay to see. She says the most terrifying thing to her. I gotta look at what I have, right, y'all. And she said being in a group with two ladies that's been to jail, she feels like it's a little terrifying to her. And Giselle toot her lips up like, oh snap, this finna go bad. And Andy was like, because he knew that Wendy was gonna have something to say to Ashley. I told y'all that Wendy and Ashley were seated across from each other because of she was sitting to get across from Stacy because of their issues, but Ashley was next to Stacy for a reason, because the things that Ashley had said about Wendy, and she claimed that she apologized for. Ashley finna be in the hot seat this reunion, and she's gonna be in the hot seat a lot. I hope y'all ready for that. So Andy said he was going to move on. So they moved on to Stacy. He asked Stacy about her integrity. And 1 year ago, they sat on the stage and they talked about TJ claiming that she paid him to be on the show. And then Wendy said, bring Eddie out. And they showed a clip of that, of where TJ says she's paying to do the show, and Giselle drops the pillow. And, Andy asked if she still deny those claims. And Stacy said, I still stand in my truth. I didn't pay TJ to be on the show. So Giselle and everybody looking like, what the heck? Like, are you serious? Okay. And so he asked Stacy, did Timo meet TJ when she was on QVC? And she said, of course. And Andy asked, was TJ any reason for her breakup with Timo? TJ was any reason for the breakup with Timo? And she said, no, not at all. And he asked her who was the one that actually filed for divorce. And Stacy said she was the one that actually filed. And it showed 8 months ago, production put it out, and it says that Timo filed for divorce. Now, remember when we did the Carlos King interview, when we did the recap, Stacy said he filed. It's on paperwork that they showing he filed. She was a defendant. She's telling Andy She filed. Okay? She's telling Andy she filed. Now, my thing is, we're looking at the paperwork. The producers picked up the paperwork that Timo was the defendant, Stacy was the plaintiff. So, I'm trying to figure out, like everybody else, how did you file for divorce when there is paperwork that they pulled up and everybody has seen that you are the defendant, girl? I know it sounds, listen, I understand women get a little, you know, embarrassed, but he filed on December 16th, 2024. Affidavit for divorce. The divorce deposition type was divorce. Okay, now I know she a little embarrassed because he filed, but and so Wendy and Tia, so he asked Wendy and Tia, and they say that, you know, they seems to be the only two that had a conversation with Timo this season, and he asked a fan question that said, Ryan said Stacy claimed that Timo came on, you know, he wanted to build a relationship with Wendy, but he didn't attend the couples dinner with Wendy and Tia and her husband because of Wendy and Eddie. So they say make a little sense. So, you know, Wendy kind of giving a side eye like, you gonna tell the truth, because that's not the truth. So Stacy said he knows how hurt she was by Wendy and Eddie in the moment for being the messengers of such a painful moment. And she said she did not go to dinner because he was in town. He wasn't in town, but because of last season. And Andy said, regardless of him not being in town, it seems like rolling the tape that timeline wasn't what she said it was, which it wasn't. They filmed it 7 months ago. And they played the clip about they met up, hey CC Life, and then with Tia being at the dinner on the phone, on speaker, in line, and everybody was like, what the F? So Stacy said, looking back on the episode, it all looked like a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. I'm sorry, but to understand, her husband travels twice a week international, and he wasn't in town. She didn't want him to meet. He travels internationally. She didn't want him to meet Wendy and Eddie just yet. For what? I don't know. And she said, if I invited you to meet my family and I said to you he's uncomfortable, why would you go and repeat that story to the person? And she said, it's so bizarre. And Wendy said, but you didn't. Hold on, let me take a sip. And Stacy go, it's so bizarre. No, because you could have just, girl. So she said, Tia said, what broke the camera back for her, it wasn't that it was called out, and she said that she said something that it wasn't true, but she tried to make it look like she lied on her. And she said the minute she got called out, and she lied on Tia. And Stacy said, you didn't come to meet Timo and Arabella to get to know us. You came to clock in and gather information to take back to your master. So everybody was like, what? And that's a strong word. And Wendy like, wait a minute, excuse me? Like, what? And so Stacy, like, she reported back to her master. Who was she pointing at? Giselle. I said what I said. So Giselle is quiet this whole time, which I'm clocking. Giselle saying, you reported back to your master, which is Wendy. And Wendy say, I'm nobody's master. She said, that's crazy. Tia say, context is very important. That she's so uncomfortable that she heard what she said when she was going to repeat about Monique to her ex-husband that affected her family. And then they showed the clip about Kay saying that Chris Samuels called Stacy very upset about what was said. And, you know, everybody's sitting here talking and saying that it was Stacy that called. And then Tia said it's another thing for her that she said to Giselle, you know, she said to Giselle, like it's a conversation. She said to Stacy, did you know Chris Samuels? And she said she don't know that man. Then she said to her she would never discuss that man family with him. And she only know him socially. and it showing a clip how she said that she knew him socially. She said, "You sure you don't know him at all?" And it makes sense because when they went on that trip, she said she dated him one time, and the producer showed that she said it. So I'm kind of like, everybody say Miss Big Titty Kitty. I think that's her name. You know, the lady about to pop off. But I really feel like it's. I love Karen Friend. I have to be honest. I feel like it's both of them. I feel like it's both of them. I'm gonna stand on that. I've been saying that. I feel like it's both of them. You went on a date, but y'all still cool and still talking, and you back with your was supposed to be with your estranged husband. And y'all still having conversations about Monet, like, but y'all still friends, and you went out on a date. Okay, girl. So yeah, producers being messy, child. They showing us the clip, and then she say Timo saw. So this is the clip. Timo saw other people, and she saw other people, and Chris was one of those people. So Tia said for her, she literally walked away, and her heart was racing. She said if somebody can hold your hand and lie like that, and that's really bothering her. So Andy switched it because he knew they were finna argue, child. Y'all know how they get down on these reunions, honey. Now, Real Housewives, they do a little shady, say things, but they ain't like Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey. Real Housewives of Atlanta gonna say, okay, big feet, keep going, and Andy gotta be like, okay, and let them have it for a moment. Real Housewives of Potomac's like, yeah, it's not the time yet. We gearing up. But I think, excuse me, when it comes to part 2, I think in part 3, it's going to gear up. Like, they're going to be doing a lot of shade like that, too. Because there's a lot of stuff that I went through this season they got to discuss. And I believe Angel and Giselle have a lot to discuss. So it was a question for Stacy, and they said, the person said, Stacey, it seemed like you got way more smoke for Tia for the shadow launch than for Ashley, and Ashley acts way worse to Tia. I mean, Stacey the whole season, which is true. And then it showed a clip when Stacey got bold with Tia. You ain't gonna tell me to shut up. Get your ass up out of here. Check your things and be gone. Toodle-doo. And they asked her, did she, the fan asked, did she regret for, kicking Tia out? And Stacey, she ain't saying nothing. And she said, wait. Hold on. I'm listening and talking to y'all. Hold on. I gotta laugh because I'm still trying to. I have to agree with that person. Um, Listen, y'all. I can't do all that typing on my hands, child. But I feel like I'm listening with y'all, and I did have some notes, and I stopped. But I feel like she was harsh on Tia. I don't know why. Ashley was worse. And she said she don't regret kicking Tia out. And then Anastasia, another fan asked, last year she was adamant about not opening her own cannabis line. And then we see that she, Giselle was grilling her about it. And and then it's crazy because she turned around this season and went ahead and launched it with an African name, a Nigerian African name. And then they asked, can she admit that she wanted to open it? And Stacey said she opened it. She can't admit that she had many, many meetings for the endeavors and it wasn't a done deal. And then Giselle said why she didn't just say that. And Stacey said, I don't owe you that, Giselle. And then Giselle said, but I said Stacey is coming to competition for Happy Eddie. And she said, Stacey said, absolutely not. And Stacey said, absolutely not coming against Wendy. And, competition. And she said, Giselle said, oh, you said you started a cannabis design. And she said, why you ain't just say that? Or I had meetings and maybe I'm thinking about it. And Angel said, I'm not sure why she cares. And, Stacey said she absolutely did not have a cannabis line when she asked her. So then we go into hold on. So another fan asks, I'm going to repeat. Giselle, Stacey, and Ashley, and Kay didn't believe Stacey alleged lies, and it didn't affect her. So why is she so pressed? So Giselle said, let's be clear. She was shown the information. You expect for us not to talk about it? And Stacey said, I don't think you treated me fairly, especially as being women who has men and men who, that has humiliated her. And Giselle say, stop, stop, stop. She say, TJ humiliated you. TJ sure did. TJ humiliated her first season. He came out the way he would, honey. TJ wasn't interested in talking about dating. TJ wasn't trying to lay in the bed with Stacey. TJ wouldn't touch Stacey. TJ ain't want to see Stacey naked. TJ ain't wanted that. TJ was like her little brother. TJ said that they don't do nothing. They don't have a relationship. TJ was very uninterested last season, and we can't sit here and act like he wasn't. He was. So Stacey said, you can give me some empathy and compassion. And Giselle said, for what? She said the man got on the phone and talked to Eddie. Giselle said he said you paid him. And so happened her and Ashley is in LA and they see paperwork. And to say that she paid him. So she said, you want us to not say nothing? She said, that's not authentic to the show. She said, we said it. You denied it. We can move the F on. And then Kay said that her issue with Stacey wasn't what she wasn't being truthful. She just didn't own it. And, Tia said didn't see, she said, Tia jumped in and said, you don't see from the other side. You can't be the victim all the time. At some point, you have to realize the things that you're doing are making people react to you a certain way. You lied. So then Andy say, see, it is clear that you got a road ahead of you to get the ladies to believe what she say. And he asked how would she improve the relationship. And Stacey said, looking ahead, she needs to be more direct, say exactly how she say what's on her mind, how she feels and say what's on her mind instead of being around the bush, because it can be around, be misconstrued. And Ashley with her little self chime in, or dishonest. Girl, Ashley. Now, I don't mind Ashley jumping in sometime when it's time. But Ashley was really, really working hard for that chick this season. I just got to be honest, really, really hard. But she said, hopefully, if it's a next season for her. And Wendy said, Craig's Cross. Andy said something that I was like, because Stacey been doing interviews, and Stacey been acting a little big headed. So Andy say sometimes, housewives get gassed up by the fans and it goes to their head, and then how they behave for the next season, and we'll let you know. And they we'll see. We might see if we see him for the next season or not. And she said, "Are you worried that?" He asked, "Are you worried that can happen to you?" And she said, "Never." He said, "Okay." So, like, to Andy, it was like, "Why would you bring that up?" Like, he felt like he said the fans gassed them up, and they do whatever, and then they lose their job. Like, he's like, "Why would you bring that up?" Like, what was the purpose? Is she shading somebody, or she hinting something? Because Wendy was like, finger crossed, but why would you bring that up? I want to know, the people too. So Angel get questioned about where she's living, and she says she's back and forth in Colorado. They have purchased a home in Potomac. So everybody clap for her. She's currently moving and undergoing renovations with the same home designer that did their home design, did their Colorado home, which the Colorado home, I don't know who when she brought the Colorado home, it needs to be renovated. I watched, it's on YouTube, and she was going on this show. They show everything that she renovated with that home. When I tell you the inside of that Colorado home, the way she had them renovated was chef kiss. And I think that they're doing the same thing with Potomac. So I'm excited to see what Potomac home look like. So, she got two homes. She would need Junior. I got two homes. I have two. I have three. I'll never forget that. So Angel says she has a few, but So Ashley said something about the home. Was it 30 acres? She said no, but it has a few. She said if you lived in the Potomac area, she said I actually do. Angel Ashley said I actually do actually, and Angel said instead of hours away, you would know that about Potomac Home. So then he asked her did Tia help with the sale, and she said Tia didn't help her. Angel didn't. Angel said Tia didn't help with the sale, and Tia said she didn't come on and show her home. On the show, she wanted to make some friends, and she found friends. And Giselle said Angel said that she didn't come on the show to look for friends because she made that perfectly clear. And it showed a clip where Ashley said that she made it to move to be on the show and made it perfectly clear. And Angel was like, I moved here to be friends with Ashley. Giselle, get the fuck out of here. Like, they're not friends. And Wendy, she said, are you kidding me? And she said she wasn't the one to have a kiki corner every 5 seconds. Angel, the whole eviction thing happened. Giselle, Wendy, and Ashley let up the talk ish about me. And it was a constant whiplash and not belonging in the group and belonging in the group. And Wendy said, how come you haven't checked Tia? She said, because, how come you didn't have a conversation to check Tia? Because she said, guess what? And Tia said she upset with me. And Giselle said, you told me she got kicked out. And Tia said she apologized to Angel and she apologized again. And Angel said she talked to Tia and spoke about it regardless of how she delivered it to Giselle. It was not her place to tell Giselle what was going on with her, because if she wanted Giselle to know, she would have told Giselle herself, which is true. So Ashley sitting here looking like, girl, whatever. But no, that's true, because if she wanted to tell, she would have told herself. And somebody asked, a fan said that Bobby's the hottest RHOP husband. He is the good looking Wendy Eddie cute. Bobby good looking. Eddie cute. Y'all got some nice little two husbands. Everybody else I can't say. I'm sorry. Ain't no shade. Ashley, Tia, your husband, he look cute, girl. He cute, Wendy, yeah, he cool. Stacy, I don't know. He giving rich sugar daddy. And that's just me. Kay, yo, man, he cute in a dorky way, but he cute for you. Like, okay. Giselle is single, Ashley is single. We can't compare nobody. Anyway, she said that Angel said she agreed that her husband is a good looking husband. She said thanks for the compliment. Ashley is laughing because it's cute. And all the other, and they don't agree with it. And Wendy say, no, that's my husband. I love me some Adley chocolate. And Stacy say she like white chocolate. And Wendy say, yeah, you like white chocolate. And then Wendy asks, what kind of chocolate does Andy like? Andy said he say blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So he like him some chocolate. Andy say, I love me. He like him some black chocolate, honey. And they cheering him on, child. Andy say he love him a black man, honey. He don't want a white man. He want him a black man, honey. He love him. He say, you guys are making me blush. And then somebody asked, Andy asked Keon and Angel and said they known each other for almost 20 years. And he asked Angel, did she he wanted to clear up the chin check debacle because her tone about it has changed from the shopping moment to the previous. And Angel said she had to think to herself, was it worth it to drag it out? And her answer was no. And Andy agreed. And Wendy said, do you understand how she feels some type of way about it? And Angel said she understand it. And that's why she said when she watched it back, she could understand. And Kay was trying to talk. And Kay was like, well, I was trying to say something. And everybody looking like at Giselle, looking like, what? Okay. And she say, I'm sorry, go ahead. And then Wendy say, what do you mean? You was trying to talk. She was asking a question. Like, I think she said, stop talking or something like that. And she said, what do you mean? She's trying to ask the question. She was like, you cut me. And Kay was like, you cut me off. And what she was saying, and Wendy would say, well, what she was saying was good. And she said, well, go ahead, Angel. And she say, "Let me answer you." When she finished, asking, saying what she was saying. And then Wendy say, "Oh no, you was talking." And Kay say, "No, I'm talking." And then Wendy say, "What kind of relationship is this?" And she controls her. And Kay actually wanted to apologize to her because she did use that word. And when they talked about it extensively, and she know how she feels, and then Angel chimed in and say, "We talked about it extensively." She say, "I know how she feels." And to answer Wendy, she say, watching it back, she could see how she changed, see that she was changing her energy to effort to, she say, "I don't know, act differently." So she said, "Yeah." And Wendy and Angel kind of, they kind of like, "Okay, cool, we can see it, we understand it, we know where we are." So then, and then Andy say, once you had the chin check under control, another C word came about you, caught you off guard, was catfishing. And he asked Giselle what was her intention to ask bring up the Photoshop. So she said, "Oh, okay," you know how she does. And she said, beginning of the season, it's new girls, and she brought Tia alongside. She met Tia, and she said one of the blog sites posted the new girls around the group. And Giselle said she said around the production that when she gonna meet the new person. And they said, "Giselle, stop being funny. That's Angel." And Angel said, "Oh please, you was being shady." She wasn't saying. She said, "I was not being shady." And she said, and Andy said, "Don't y'all all use Facetune?" And they said, "Absolutely, every day they use Facetune." And Stacy say she use it on her dog. No, Stacy, we seen some of your pictures. You use filters too. All of y'all use filters, okay? All of y'all. We're not gonna lie. And you know, um, let's be real. So Giselle say she didn't like the catfish comment. She made the catfish comment. And Giselle said she was being straight up and she wasn't trying to be shady any kind of way. And they laughed about it later. And then the next morning, they had a great moment about it. They talked about it and it was over. And then she said Angel continued to talk about it throughout the season. So it was like, okay, what happened? And Angel said, "Y'all, it continued to be a joke for the rest of the season for me. I see you having a lot of ish to say about me. And it felt rude. It felt like she was trying to haze her." And Giselle came out and Giselle said out her mouth when we said, is there hazing? Are they hazing Angel? Are they hazing? Giselle just said out her mouth, "Sure was." Giselle admitted that they were hazing her. They admitted to hazing her. Y'all can go watch it yourself. Giselle has admitted to hazing her. You can go on Peacock, set it up and go. I'm telling y'all, Giselle just admitted to that. She mouth sure was. And and Angel and to say this, and Wendy said it wasn't about hazing. Giselle said it wasn't about hazing, and I'm like, yes, it was. You hazed her. You just said sure was. You hazed the girl. Then you want to say it wasn't about hazing? Well, what was it about? And Angel had to tell her to stop. She said, "You want me to apologize or own it or not?" And she's saying the melee of everything that happened, what was happening, she heard ha 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 catfish. And they played the clip. Yeah, Wendy was laughing, and then Giselle said catfish. And she said she apologized. And then Wendy said she heard her, but she is hell bent on saying that Wendy said it. And all she did was laugh. And she came into the group with a plan. She looked at Giselle as a big sister. And she didn't want to have no smoke for Giselle, but she had all the smoke for Wendy. Even when people was looking at her and saying it wasn't, in her face and saying it wasn't Wendy, she still didn't redirect her energy. And she had, they showed that she had the conversation they showed the production clip that she had the conversation with, Giselle. And Angel said she had that reaction of, under the way the things that they had. And she said it was a more dip on her chip from the reactions to her, that she had extra dip on her chip for Wendy for certain things. So, Angel also get questioned about what she said. So she showed the production of her talking to Kay, and they asked her about the comment about what she made about Wendy. So she's showing the thing where she said something about Wendy. Oh, she was talking to her sister. She said assholes lips and giving Forrest Whitaker in the eye. And she said that it was very harsh. She was referring to a facial expression that he makes and she makes that are very similar. And she says sometimes she's skeptical about things. She go and she showed her. She said that's what I was referring to. And she said we talked about how you don't like people talk about your aesthetic and talk about my facial look. She says she think it's wrong, and it cuts deeper. And she saying she call she say it goes deeper. And she say if I call you James Earl Jones, then would you like it? She say I made a reference to what your expression was. And she do apologize for saying that because it was below the belt. That's what Angel said. It's not who she is, and that's the end of it. And she can use whatever she want to use. So someone asked Kay and Angel, a fan, why some on the internet gave her the name on the internet Madness and Sadness. And she said it's a pleasure. She's enjoying the pleasure to be around. And Giselle said that's not what the fan said. And Kay said she could say it when she took time to watch it and looking back, she did seem a little upset. And 85% she get along with everybody in the group. And just with her and Angel on the island is very much not true. So then they asked, Andy went ahead and asked Ashley about bringing that goddamn catfish to the potluck, trying to be funny. Trying to be funny. This one Ashley get in the hot seat with everybody. Ashley got a lot, except Giselle. But Ashley got a lot of heat from everybody. Oh, she did. And she said it wasn't that deep for her to bring the catfish. It wasn't that deep. And she said, someone called me a catfish. So what? Who cares? But Angel saying, you bothered me and you was just being nasty and petty. Ashley said it was funny. And Angel saying, no, it wasn't. And Ashley telling, and Angel say, no, it wasn't. Ashley saying, just learn to laugh. You should learn to laugh. And then Angel told her to laugh at herself because she's done a lot of embarrassing things to everybody if she asks her. So then Ashley get a question from a fan. And Ashley said that, and then the fan said, she actually they love Ashley, which I do too, I have to admit, being messy, but she was a little more mean girl messy this season. She was mean and nasty to people at times. And Ashley said to who? And can we elaborate? And Angel said hello to Stacy, to me, to Wendy after what went down. And then they showed the clip that Wendy, what they call Wendy? Zen wind in the pen. That's what she said. And Andy asked her that. And, he asked her, did she regret saying that? She said, I do apologize for that. And similarly, when she saw Wendy mugshot, she was smiling in the picture. She was literally laughing in the photo. And she was like, this is not real. I made a joke. Wendy, it felt like a joke. And she said for her to make a joke, that she made jokes about everybody in the group. And Wendy said not anyone that's been locked up. Even when Karen was, she was the only people that didn't. And Ashley was like, Wendy, she was like, I'm one of the people that didn't make a joke about her. And then Ashley said, I didn't know the severity of her situation truly. And then Wendy said she would believe it, except for the fact that she got additional information. It wasn't necessarily that she saw the mugshot. Even the blogs had posted more information about her seeing the mugshot. But the thing that was said was the hidden vendetta that she always had against Wendy. And Giselle looking like, what? But no, there is a kind of a hidden vendetta. It kind of is. And I feel like there is some, because of she's not on the show, and it's not to bring her up any light, but I feel like the friendship with Candace was the problem, because Wendy took Candace side when they were friends more than she took Ashley, and Ashley felt some type of way. She feel like Wendy ain't her friend. I just feel like that's the problem. But Ashley say, she don't have a hidden vendetta against her with the recent situation. She said when she first came into the group, she came into the era looking down at everybody like she was better. She felt like Wendy came in like she was better than everybody in the room, and everybody was beneath her. She talked about her 4 degrees when she first came on the show. And Wendy say, how you view me has nothing to do with me, but everything to do with you. And Ashley say, I don't vilify my accomplishments. And Wendy say, because you don't have none. Damn. Wendy ain't playing. And Giselle looked like, oh my God. But no, she don't. And Ashley said, BSB. She said, well, okay. She said, well, if Wendy said, well, if you had some, you could vilify. You can vilify. Hold on, what did Ashley say? And Ashley say, I got one social security number. And she hit below the belt. Everybody was like, ooh. And then we see a clip of next week, child. Ooh, and guess who show up next week for reunion? It's Auntie Carrie, girl. I'm so happy. I'm so happy, y'all. And then we got Monique. Monique brought out some receipts about the Chris Samuel thing with the text messages. We got what's that girl name that was a friend of the show? The one that got married to the football player. She trying to come at Kay talking about Kay stole Greg from his wife, and she's like, girl, you got 15 minutes, don't waste it on me. Baby, they on the chain. Stacy looking like, oh my God, I like again. Y'all, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Now we go to Married to Medicine, child. Child, let's go on to this, because Dr. Heavenly been holding her mule in the mute for a while, honey. A mule in the mute for a mute for mule in the mute. she tried to act a good girl. So they all are on the yacht. They go on the yacht. Dr. Contessa say they have a yacht thing for them. Everybody on the yacht. I think they ate on the yacht and stuff like that. They had a good time on that yacht, child. They had them a boat ride, honey. So this year they got two trips. They got 2 trips. They always have 2 trips. Mm-hmm. So they on a boat and everything. So, Dr. Heavenly asked Contessa, was there any new games they want to have? And Dr. Heavenly said she down for the game. She want to play for the political game and ask the hard questions about politics and anything going on. Dr. Heavenly said it could be like a town hall. She said, you just ask me any questions, I'll tell you the truth. She should have put some stipulations on that. And so everybody say they're going to sit back. Toya says she not going to want to play. They should just play. So Toya say, who gets on a boat and holds a town hall meeting? Why are you trying to ruin my cruise? Because they went on like one of the little day cruises things. And Dr. Contessa told Dr. Heavenly she's too fragile. And she say, no, she not. She say she's sure. And then Dr. Contessa say she's not ready to handle the criticism. And she's not ready for her questions. So, every time somebody asks her questions, Dr. Heavenly walk out. She get upset. She walks out and everything, And then she's, Dr. Heavenly says she's ready for any questions. She's not going to view them not as her friends, but her constituents that have any concerns. So Brandy said, she said, what do you say about to the constituents of District 93 that are concerned that your history of a reality TV star who has argued, fought, all those things that people want to look at the political leaders to have certain morals and certain standards. What do you say to that? Clock it. So I'm going to tell you what I see. I'm going to give my opinion after this, because Dr. Heavenly, just because that orange man has won off a reality TV show, it's not for everybody. Do you understand? It's not for everybody. people thought because he's such a great businessman, he's a great winner. I understand what you saw, and I'm gonna tell you the shade she threw, and why I believe she looked at it as that, just like what Uncle Luke is looking at it as that. It is a hard. I'm gonna say this before we get into it. It is a hard job with cleaning up what somebody has been destroying. It is a very hard job. This man has not made it easy. He has made it worse, not only for the leader that's going to come behind him, but he has made it worse for the people over districts and Congress and senators. And I want y'all to understand what y'all going to go against and what's going to happen. It's a lot to clean up, and then you got to get somebody else to clean it up. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot. So coming on here thinking you can be on here because of Dr. Heavenly, I'm glad that you believe in yourself and you see yourself more. But I would agree if you had a conversation with leaders about your dental and what you want to do with the economy with dental and health, then to run for District 93. But I have to see what happens. I mean, midterms is around the corner, girl. What you gonna do? You coming back or not? You gonna win? Don't tell these folks you ain't coming back because you don't know if you're gonna win or not. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Y'all know that song. Don't make this complicated. That's a jam. I gotta listen to that when I get off here. So, Dr. Simone saying clock it, you saying what everybody's saying and everybody knows about this B. And they showed the clips of her arguing with everybody, even talking about Mariah mama, everybody else mama, everybody mama, every mama this, every mama that, everybody mama this and that. And she said, Dr. Heavenly say everything she done and everything she said she cannot take it away. That's who she is, and that's what they're voting for. And that she has standards and she not a felon. Everybody was like, girl, what? So everybody's looking like, girl, that's the problem. It's because you on reality TV. And just because you ain't got no felons, she took a shot at Trump. She did. They're going to be honest. Everybody was like, girl, now why would you do? They started laughing, child. They started laughing. So you think, they think it's, so girl, you think because you been on TV and you the opposite of him and you don't have a felon that you can run for District 93. Like, what the hell? Girl, you could have did better. Dr. Heavenly, come here. I don't know what you got going on. And she said, she's pairing with what she want to do and what she want to go for. And Brandy says she not a felon, but is that the bar that we set in? And she says she got some work to do. So Dr. Jackie asked who her political mentor. She said, I have several. She said Quad Webb Lunsford is one. She looked. Quad said, baby, I ain't been, she said, I ain't married to that man. And Dr. Heavenly said, ooh, and she said, did y'all hear her? She said, ooh, I messed up. So Toya sitting over here laughing. She is giggling. And Dr. Heavenly said, I messed up, sorry. And Quad say, girl, I ain't been Lunsford since 2019. And Dr. Mimi say she tired of making excuses for her. She is messing up her whole campaign manager. And Dr. Heavenly say she didn't mean to do that. She really did. And she said, come on now. She said Quad Webb is an excellent resource. And she's a hot person and knows how. She don't have too many drinks. She fine. But she's a person that's very passionate. Not only that, she's a great speaker. And she's seen her work as a mentor. And, Dr. Jackie said, I thought she said she would go with Kamala Harris. And Dr. Jackie said she could have said Obama. She could have said Michelle Obama. She could have said Jasmine Crockett. But you said Quad. She said, okay, Heavenly, you're not ready for this. So Angel said, I have a question. How are you the most qualified? She said, this is how I know she felt. Dr. Heavenly, she don't like him, but she feel like she's a good competition. Like, she has some great areas of, if you run pause. Let me say this. It's given a great area where he ran businesses and he did it. Why can't I? Why can't I do it? I'm a black woman. I'm better qualified. Why can't I? And I understand what she's saying. But at the same time, Dr. Heavenly, that's not it. That's the damn problem now. That's the problem now. Everybody looking at this. Oh, it's a business. America, listen, running America is not just a business. Okay, it's just being honest. Okay. So she says she has several businesses. She know how she hired people. She's a mother. She's done payroll. If she's a mother and a wife, she can do anything. And Dr. Simone said, wow, your brain, Dr. Heavenly has you delusional. Those. She said, I invested interest in this area. I have business in this area. I own another business in this area. And like Dr. Simone said, if all we have to do is be a business owner and a mom, I too should run for office. And she said, Dr. Heavenly says you should know as a medical professionalist, the people on Medicaid, which this what she should have said. People on Medicaid and Medicare are some sick people we have, and what she wants to do is want to open up a Medicaid office. And then Toya talking about, oh, this real Ryan Sell, okay, a Medicaid office, and they do dental schooling and dental paddling, dental work, and Toya yarning. And Toya say this ain't a yacht life, this ain't fun. She feel trapped, bamboozled. God the Heavenly say also she feel like it's a colony with God, she can do anything. And Toya says she know they don't have some horrible boat rides, but that is the worst experience on a boat she has ever had, okay? Child, Dr. Jenkins told Toya, anybody say nothing to you, what you doing? She was like, nothing. And Contessa said she followed Dr. Heaven on her platforms, and all she exposed is mostly anger. She said, do you plan to persecute or destroy the people that didn't support you or oppose you and ask you different questions? And Dr. Heavenly said, I'll be as passionate as I want to be. People are dying. She said, that wasn't my question. She said, ask what you retaliate. She said, you being very rude, you being messy, you being nasty. I'm not going to answer your questions no more. So, child, they start playing on the boat, child. Dr. Contessa started laughing and playing back, child. So Dr. Heavenly said, I'm going to move on. So Dr. Contessa said, you just called God want for, so she about to be, and she your campaign manager. Now you make me sit with Toya. I am rude with you. I'm helping you. You sure you ready for all of this? So Dr. Contessa told everybody that it looked like they all the way back, all together off the boat. They made it off the boat. They truly could say they had a good girls trip, and ain't nobody said nothing, And Dr. Contessa said that they started the trip believing they wasn't going to be able to coexist, and they sitting there, in close quarters, and they can coexist and ready for a group hug, and everybody just sitting there looking crazy like, girl, please. And everybody said no and started laughing. And Contessa like, dang. And there's Dr. Simone said the boat ride was calm and great, but you want to know why? Everything was swept under the rug. No real conversations were had, and I agree. We didn't have to make no emergency escapes. She said, but don't worry, boo. The tension is under the rug, where it's always been. And then they took a picture. So then the next morning, everybody packing up, getting everything together. It's the last day. They're getting ready to go down to catch their flight. They decide to leave at 12, and everybody's getting everything together. They're packing up. And everybody's having a good brunch. Everybody asked for what Dr. Heavenly inquired was. Dr. Heavenly talking about, I knew, she said, I hung your dress up like I told you I would for you to pack it up. She said, Dr. Heavenly talking about, you always hiding. So she said, I did because you forgot. So then everybody got dressed. They go down to meet for brunch and everything. And Toya said she was having a question about the Met Gala, about they're doing when they get back. And the next week, they're going to push the date because they found a beautiful location, which Toya is over the Met Gala this season. And they put her over so she could see how it felt for her to not to put her money in to help. So she said, the beautiful location they found is not large enough. And so they have a plan B. They're still going to have the same theme, which is living art. And Jackie said initially the Met Gala was to bring the community together, was them, to have with the medical people, and it morphed into something bigger. And they wanted to celebrate the medical community. That was a thing. They donate to the medical community, to certain charities and stuff like that. to certain things that they have as doctors going on, because most doctors do have donations they put out to charities. They have things that help, they do little things in the community, right? So Toya say the artist is coming over to the new location. She's going to dress everything. It's going to look great. And Jackie said Toya didn't fully participate in the last two Met Galas. And they showed production how everybody was saying she didn't participate. And Dr. Jackie says she has a lot of opinion about things, so now she put her in charge of it. When she left her, did she want to do it better? They left Toya involved. So Toya is the new chairperson, and she gave her a lab coat for it. And Toya says she started selling the tickets. People are excited about going. Um, she came up with $8,000. She said, how much do they want to give towards the event? So everybody looking, and Quad is saying in her confession, she said Jackie chose Toya because Quad wants because Dr. Jackie wants Toya to feel what it's like to put on an event this magnitude. And Toya and Contessa say if we sold 250 tickets, nobody has to contribute anything. And then Quad says she wants to teach her a lesson, point blank, period. She said if you hear anything else, it's a lie. So Toya said we have to pay for things on set up front. And then she said, didn't you put your money up front? She said she asked everybody around the table. And then she asked Dr. Jackie, how much did you put out your pocket? And Dr. Jackie said she paid for everything. And then, Toya say this year, Quad, if you want clarifications for that, last year was their event that they threw. So everybody say, no, that's not what it was. And Dr. Heavenly spoke up and said, Toya, I can't, you lied on that one. You fully ish on that one. That last year was everybody event. Dr. Jackie just did majority of paid for everything, and they just paid the $2,500. But it still was, she came out her pocket for everything else. If it didn't sell, so everybody told her that's what she got it wrong. It was everybody event, and that's what they've been trying to explain to her for the past 2 years. It was their event. And Dr. Heavily talking about, don't say that ish. I got to speak now. And Toya say Heavily, it's no need. And then Dr. Heavily say she knows exactly what she did the last 2 years, and she did nothing but complain. And she didn't do nothing. But now it's our event. She said clearly she don't know teamwork. And then Quad said it was always our event as a collective, but you had two people at the hem of it. And Toya say it's breaking down again. So though Toya say it's no need, then Quad got emotional, and she said something she wanted to tell them. I'ma just say this part. And then Toya say, can we finish the Met Gala? She said no, she got something to say, because we're gonna take the words. So Toya said, we don't the Met Gala. She said yeah. So Quad started breaking down crying. Quad told them about the IVF process, about how the eggs that she had, it didn't do what they were supposed to do. And basically, she can't go through with the IVF process. And she says she felt dumb because when everybody was telling her she didn't want a child to freeze her eggs, she didn't. And she says she feels so stupid because she should have at least frozen her eggs so she could use them when she was ready to. And Dr. Jackie say she'll give her a discount. She ran and gave her a hug. And Dr. Jackie say, as a doctor, I have to be professional, but as a friend, I want to cry because Quad really want a baby. And Dr. Heavenly said something now that makes sense. And I've thought this too. I felt like it wasn't the time. I felt like things happen for a reason. And I feel like if I was Quad, I'd go through the process by myself. But I don't think her and King was fit for a baby right now. The relationship, And that probably was the reason. I feel like I would have went through it by myself, you know. Then Toya say, "All right, y'all, we got to get ready. We got to get ready to go on the flight. It's 12:30, and Contessa, let's get ready to go out and go on the flight." So then we go to Quiet House. She's fixing. Um, she warmed up King plate, and she told him to fix it. See if he want to see if he want a little warmer. It might not be warm enough. So she fixed his plate, gave him a fork. He said that's a baby, a little fork. And he said, "This a baby fork." She said, "Oh, well, maybe you can feed the baby." This is where I see their relationship taking a turn, because he got a little spicy with her. I think he wanted a baby, but then he upset about the baby. Then he not inquire, feeling like she want the baby. He don't want the baby. It's a lot going on with them too. So, she fixing her food. He said, "You need one, right?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." She said, "Not a baby fork." And, he say, "Ain't nothing, baby, about you." She say, "No, not yet, at least." So she fixing her plate. She say, "Since they learned the egg retrieval didn't take this time, it's been tough." And she say, "You got to," and Quiet told him, we got to be careful, since they're choosing our words. And he said, she say, "I know you do, but it's okay." He say, "I disagree." She say, "I know you do. It's okay, but I do think." Uh, she say, "I know, but I love it when we do agree." She say she feel like their relationship has shifted a bit, and it's like they're not approaching each other with that same warmth and love. And we seen it in kindness. And I seen and Toya and Eugene saying he's seen it. The way that he was acting, it was very different. Like their warmth that they have for each other is no longer there. And he asked what happened on the girls' clip. So she tell him the girls' trip. She tell him about the house. They had a couple of fights. She say that Heavenly didn't come on the first day. She came on the second. Based on what happened at Angel event. She came the next. She wasn't gonna come at all, but she came. She ended up popping up, and then her and Simone got into it. That's what she told him. He say, "I'm about to be done with this fish. Can we get to the good part?" So Quad looking at him like, "What? Like, excuse me?" So she's sitting here looking at him with attitude. She say, "What would make more exciting for you?" He say, "Anything exciting happened." She say she did tell him about the IVF journey. And he asked, how did they react? And he said, actually, it was a middle of an argument. She was like, "Y'all just stop." And she was trying her best not to be emotional. He said, "Let me guess." He said, "Let me guess, you started crying a river." And she looking at him like, "What the fuck?" And she said, "Yes, probably an ocean." She said, "Probably an ocean." He said, "Ask how she's dealing with it." All jokes aside, she said she's taking some losses. And he said, "You always bounce back." She said, "Oh yeah, I always bounce back." She said prayer has been helping her and trying to focus on continuing to be in a positive space. And he said, "Do you want to move forward and try again?" And she said she don't know. She got to think about it. And that's when I know that she said we might need to take a month or two. And that's what she said, and relax for a second. And he said, "It sounds like we need a vacation." And she said they need to pour back in their relationship and love and support and being present in in the moment. He said, "I totally agree." He said, "Because we start catering to the process than each other." And she said, everybody came together and supportive of her. And she said now she know that she has to double down on everything, on the love and affection and everything. And he said he guess it's kind of hard for them hormones because they definitely out of whack. So Quiet looking like, "Not right now." Oh wow. So she asked for a little piece of his fish. And he said, "You always complain about me eating your food." She said, "Yeah, because you dig right into it." She said, "Well, I respect that it's your food and I ask." She said, "Can I have a bite?" He said, "We'll see." She said, "Don't worry about it. I lost my appetite for the fish." She said, "I'm just saying." Yeah, they was on odds. They was on odds on that episode. So we go to the photo shoot that they having for the Met Gala because Dr. Jackie told her it needs to be everybody. And they need to do that. They was saying a budget and everything. The budget came out to $2,500. as of last year. The same with the Met Gala as of last year. And she saw the website. She said, listen, we're gonna have to do this website. It can't just be me and you, it needs to be everybody. So Dr. Jackie told her she was gonna set. She met Dr. Jackie at the office, said that they were gonna set some things up. They got the scrubs from Angel, and they were gonna set up a photo shoot and everything for that day for everybody to come. She said who all had said something to contribute, so she gave a rundown of who have, and Quad didn't yet. So, they said, okay, so then we go to the shoot. Everybody meet up. They get their outfits. Dr. Heavenly went first. Everybody do their photo shoot. Everybody has changed. They're working with Mr. Banks, honey, the legendary. Yes, they working with him. It came out very, very good. Hold on. Let me make sure I got his name right. I don't want to say nothing wrong. Hold on. Let me get his name correct because I want y'all to go check him out. He's so good. He works with everybody. He's worked with Mimi. He's been doing a lot. Derek Blanks. I'm sorry, Mr. Blanks. Derek Blanks, honey. He's done Mimi, Real Housewives. He's done literally everybody in Atlanta. He's another one that's done a lot with photography and special effects and stuff like that in Atlanta. When y'all see the girls be jumping and trying on the outfits, and that's his work. That's his work. Okay, so then we get to the photo shoot. Everybody took their photos, and Toya talks about everything about the Met Gala, and she says, she recognized that you do everything together as a team, and everybody fall in line, and it's important this season. She says she owes them an apology for not doing her part, and Quad say, or maybe we just need to do you like you did us by not doing nothing and stand off on it. And so, and then they could pick it up next year. So Quad says she don't feel like giving support because the last Met Gala, she thought it was something for Jackie. She didn't want to support it. So Quad said, Toya, it was good for you not to do Met Gala 1 and 2. She said, I'm not probably going to do Met Gala 3. And Quad said when she say everyone else has given, she said she was trying to tell her last year that she couldn't hear her. And Toya said that was last year. This year, though, she said, Quan said, you here now because you in the shoes. So they started laughing. She said, you in it now because you're in the shoes. And so Toya told some girls, stop living in the past. Y'all Aries do that all the time. Yeah, okay. No, you did what you did. So you got to take it. You can't be a baby about it. She said, stop living in the past. Jesus, if I was Tony Braxton, I was saying, I don't know what the problem is, girl. You got to get what you dish out because you feel like you can be exempt. Y'all are the babies of the sign. Y'all do this all the time. And so Toya said what she want to do most of all is to get everybody in a situation where they can do a corporate sponsor. They can get corporate sponsors. They make $100,000. So she said the first commitment she needs to do is get the foundation together. And they did that. And it's great. And she said Jackie decided the CEO and CFO, and Dr. Heavenly saying, what are you? She said, I'm CFO. And she said, who put you in that position? She said, Jackie. She said, okay. And Dr. Heavenly saying, come on, Jackie, please don't give Toya your checkbook. She can't even take her. She just kept trying to say so much. And then she told Quad she wanted her to be the secretary. So Quad started laughing. She said, secretary got to do the typewriter. I'm a secretary. Like, oh, let me take some notes. Let me get your coffee. Would you like it black or how many sugars and cream? She said, Miss Quad is not nobody's secretary. Literally, she said, what does a secretary do? So Dr. Heavenly say she think the way she they're presenting is kind of messed up. It's not the way you do things. So Toya looking like, what you mean the way we presenting this? And she said you have a meeting and you ask people what they want to do. So Toya say she don't want to argue with her. And Dr. Heavenly, she not. Then Toya say she being angry. She saying, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to go home because she got other stuff to do. You're not going to let me talk. And Toya say, you've been talking a lot. and over talking. And she say, Toya, please. It says, no, you have. And she say, Toya, please. She say, no, you have. She say, okay. She, y'all not gonna irritate me today. She say, thank you, Simone. And she walked off and touched Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie was like, wait, what? So quiet, them start busting out laughing. She say, so Toya say, start laughing, say, you Simone now. You Jackie, but you Simone now. She say, the people confused. So Heavenly say, thank you for the scrubs. So Quiet called her back. And Toya say they haven't been able to come on one accord in 12 years, which is true. They haven't. This show been on for 12, going on 13 years. They haven't came on one accord in a minute. And we've seen how that went and how things change and things progress. They've been doing, and then Dr. Heavenly says she's been doing it, they've been doing it for 3 years. It's not political, it's not professional, it's not how you do everything. And Dr. Heavenly says she don't seem how Toya taking it, making it seem her own, and she didn't pay nothing, she wasn't involved. And Dr. Quiet said, Quiet said, can we, I'm sounding like Heavenly. Quiet said, can we hold the dude's scarf? And if anybody that hold the dude's scarf can talk. So Quad went up. Dr. Heavenly saying, you can hold it, go up there when you want to. So Quad walked up and said she's going to hold it. Everybody can talk. Heavenly say she believed that Toya never ran a business before. And in her confession, she say Toya has purchased a house that she haven't purchased before. And she say Toya don't get it. She won't ever will. And so Dr. Heavenly took the thing out of Quad's hand and said, Dr. Jackie say you are so professional and one of the most difficult people you ever worked with. So Dr. Jackie looked like, what? And she say, I didn't say that. And Heavenly say, yes, you did. Yes, you did. She say, you didn't say that, Jackie. Why are you telling her that? So Contessa say, Jackie, you know better. She say, I don't understand how y'all so close. You can't tell Heavenly nothing, because she probably did say all that. She said that, and she started laughing. And Heavenly say, you didn't say you laughing was laughing typical. She said what was laughable was the $2,500 that was the same from last year. And she didn't pay it. And she say, right, she didn't pay it. She say, so right. She say, so we here this year. She say, I got the thing. And then Toya say, nobody gave you authority to have a thing to say anything. So she threw it down. And Quad say, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Jackie done picked it up. She said, are you trying to ruin this photo shoot? She said, I should have known from years ago when I did a photo shoot for breast cancer photo shoot. And they started arguing and how she had to go off on everybody. Everybody was looking at her like, what? And then she said, doing once, same on them, do it twice, same on me. So she should have known. So she went and told Derek, let me take my picture while they argue. And she said she read it. She said, what we gonna do? And she said, what? So Dr. Heavenly said, what have you done? Toya say, I done a website. She named the stuff she did. Dr. Jackie say, somebody take my picture, distract me. And Dr. Jackie say, you, come on, y'all accomplished, upstanding, beautiful ladies. Let's do this. So then at the end, they showed how everything came together. It was very nice. Derek did his job. They just jumped and she did a turn, like she put them in there and stuff. And Toya done pinched Dr. Heavenly booty cheeks. So now they playing after they argued. She said, Toya said, stop fighting on this, Heavenly. And Heavenly said, the last one that touched me, I told her put her hands on me. And then said again, I called the girls for touching me. Everybody started busting out laughing. So they okay. So the next episode, they're going on a couples trip. Now, Dr. Simone said they're giving it again. I guess it's a redemption for Toya and Eugene, because last time they did the couples trip, that was was it Dr. Somebody did it, and because Dr. Simone and Cecil, they do their couple trip. I don't forget which one of y'all did the couples trip, but it was horrible. Bad. So everybody was like, Dr. Simone said, we gonna go ahead and give the couples trip to Toya and Eugene. Angel saying, what? And the people was like, should we be worried? People started laughing. Child, they going to Jamaica. So Toya did have a vacation. Yeah, they had a couple's vacation. Yep, Toya doing the redemption. Dr. Heavenly, they say Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon can't do the couple trip no more because that was ooh. But this time they doing it again and they did it. They got a Mercedes little Sprinter. They want to turn up. Toya say she expecting thongs, and then they talk about the chairperson for the Met Gala, and then Dr. Heavenly having a conversation with Eugene, and she said they would do better by apologizing. Dr. Damon said he don't want to hear none of that arguing and shit. He said y'all can have a conversation. I don't want to hear that shit on here. And we argue. We are on the trip. I want us to chill. I know that's right. So yeah, y'all, that's what's gonna happen next season. I can't wait to see it. Now that's all that happened. We did get a little teaser, and everybody was like, "That's the same thing from last week. That's the same thing from last year. That's the same thing. That's the same thing." So I'm gonna show you. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. It's the same thing. Y'all talking about last year. I don't like it. Why we got a teaser from last year? Why we got it? What? Why they doing that? So what people didn't understand, the teaser. So the teaser is like an introduction that we are getting ready to see a Real Housewife of Atlanta trailer, right? This is the teaser from last year, but we're getting ready to see, and we're going to introduce some new girls, which is K Michelle and the Slutty Vegan owner. The same girls are back. Y'all see what you call it is added, right? Oh, she got a Slutty Vegan here? Hold on. When she did that? Pinky Cole. Pinky Cole will be on here as well. So those are the two additional ladies. Now, this was a tease. Everybody said, this is the same as last year. Yeah, but they're letting us know, get ready. The teaser is coming soon. We're gonna get a teaser. That's why we got the same thing from last year. They have announced they're getting ready to show us a teaser. We're gonna see the trailer. Oh, we don't know who we're gonna see. Y'all seen Cynthia? Yep, you seen Cynthia, but I don't know. Cynthia look like she gonna be coming back, y'all. Yeah, so I'm ready excited to see it. I'm excited. I'm ready for season 17. Ooh, I'm so happy. We got probably a part 3 with Real Housewives of Potomac. Yeah, it's gonna get a little spicy, like I said. I want to thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I will be back in an hour in 8 minutes. 8 minutes. We're gonna talk about what pissed Peach off and threw her on the edge to say, I'm divorcing this man. We're gonna talk about it because we're gonna talk about it. And I got an interview that pissed off. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.